Well, I was thinking, yesterday I mentioned in my video that I had my idler arm and my steering gearbox. They were done already, but I didn't video them, and they just had to be put on. So then I thought, well, I should at least show what I did, at least after the fact. It might help somebody out. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, I'm not a professional Volkswagen mechanic by far, but I do research stuff and I try to figure things out to the best of my knowledge. And I just don't settle until I'm happy that I did a good job. So I'll show you what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to show you is the gearbox. Not the gearbox, but the steering gearbox. Okay, now if you listen, when I turn this back and forth, you hear the gear inside. Let me turn it around. When it moves, I don't know if you can see, but instantly the shaft starts moving. There's no dead spot. So that means I won't have a lot of free play in the wheel. When you turn the wheel, the car will turn. It'll be a tight steering connection between both. And how I achieved that, I took these 4 bolts out originally and this lock nut off of here. And then you hold this plate and you get a screwdriver. You need a smaller one to fit in between the nut, or you could take the nut right off. But you turn this down into this aluminum top piece. You keep turning it down until the top piece comes off. Now you can clean out your gearbox and put the new grease in. Secondly, now that you can do that, you spray it out with parts cleaner, you do the best job you can, and you could get it really clean and blow it out with air, and it'll be like new inside. And my way of thinking is these gearboxes are like at least 50 years old. And they were never adjusted, but they're made to be adjusted. So if you have a little play in it, then you can adjust it. So we'll show you how you do that. You loosen this nut up here. Okay, now as I turn it, the steering is right on. Well, I'm going to screw it up. I'm turning it counterclockwise. And see the movement I get? And the shaft isn't moving. So then I turn it clockwise. I'll go like 3/4 of a turn. And you can almost see, I'm almost there. I'm going to go another 1/4 turn. There, now as it moves, the shaft moves. There's no free play in between. So I could hold this and lock down the lock nut. And I believe my steering is adjusted perfectly. Or let's face it, close to perfectly. I don't think anything's perfect in this world, but we hope for the best. Okay, lock them down. Now you can see, as I turn that, the shaft turns. There's no free play. All right, again, take the 4 bolts out, take the lock nut off. You got to screw this adjustment screw down into the top plate to get the plate off. Once the plate's off, you could clean all the crap out of the inside and inspect it visually. There's bearings in there, and they look fine as much as you can see them. I turned them both directions. Didn't seem bad at all. Just needed a little adjustment to take the slop out of it. And it's nice to know it all has new grease in it, and we won't have any steering wheel play. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is the idler arm, which I did. That was a little tricky at first to me. Okay, here's the idler arm. they vary. This is out of a 72. My son was a 73, and it's a little different than this one. I did do a video on replacing the bushing and the bolt that goes through on his 73 about a year and a half ago. So it's back in my videos if you're looking. It's under the 73 Beetle. And this is same thing, just different. You know, that's one guy I used to work with used to say, it's the same thing but different. It does the same job, but physically it looks different. All right, what we're going to do first is we're going to take this nut off. And it's a German lock nut. Don't have to be tight. You can over tighten it, but it don't have to be tight. You take that off. You take this off. Now you may I did this before, it's not going to be that hard, but a lot of times you'll have to WD-40 it, mess with it to get it to come apart. But I took the arm off, no problem. And I don't know if you could notice, in the arm, see there's a spot where there's a spline missing. That's very important. I'll show you in a second why. And then on here, this plate, it's hard to see, but between these two splines here, there's a solid piece where it isn't splined. That's how you know exactly how this arm goes. You match up the missing spline to the double spline here. And see, it'll slip right on. It won't go on in any other place, so don't try to press it on or force it on. You just find that notch, and then you put them together. I'm off a toothpick. There you go. Okay, and what I did with this is I pulled the shaft out. Usually they get corroded inside. The bushings are usually decent. I did change the bushing in this. But normally what happens is there's not too much oil or grease in there, and they get corroded and rusted, and then the rust will start eating into the bushing and just gets tight. So mine wasn't bad. I cleaned it up. I put antifreeze on it. Maybe you could see that double notch there a little better. It's right up the top there. And I put anti-seize inside here. Now I put it back in. I didn't mess with the adjustment bolts. Put this back in. Line up your splines. Put it together. Put this washer on. Put the nut on. These were already done. I'm just trying to give you a little idea of what I did because I didn't video them. Okay, now I tightened that pretty good. Well, see, now it's stiff. It don't want to go easy. You can over tighten it. So you want to back this off just till it gets easy. That nut's a lock nut. It ain't coming off. But you want to make it so you have good steering and it's easy. Okay, with that, we're going to leave you from this bench video and say enjoy your project. Have a nice holiday weekend. And I found out I'm not coming home till next Monday night. So there won't be another video probably until Tuesday or Wednesday. And hopefully it's putting them strut towers together. You know, they're turning out to be a little bit of a problem, but we're going to get there with them. All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your project. Come back for more.